Alright, I'm going to hook this thing up out here just for the hell of it. I'm just going to show you guys what I do with these. It's not going to be permanent, but anyway. So now we're going to take this resistor over here. There's bird crap all over the place. These birds are driving me nuts around here. Okay, see that, the little spark? And that stopped it from a big arc. If you don't use that, you'll take a chunk out of your battery. Because the inrush current is so strong when you hook these things up. I prefer to use a wrench that's like at least somewhat insulated, just because I don't know, you never know, you could do something really stupid. Of course, the end of this one is exposed anyway, but okay. You could still go like that. You'd have a fireworks show. Okay, so we got the inverter powered up. I gotta go get my wire strippers. I'm not gonna put any connectors on this. Technically, I'd rather this stupid thing had MC4s on it or something. I cut this off of this cord. This is kind of some homemade crap. But the other end of my cord, where's the other end of my cord? We're using like a 14 gauge power cord. Anyway. They're not real well labeled in here. I've seen people hook these up wrong. They're really terrible idea because you're using these super stiff cables here, and this goes directly to the board. So one bad mistake here, and you can end up snapping the freaking board. That's why I hate this idea here. This is the worst. You should at least put like something here to put like a strain relief on here. But at any rate, this is not what we call a good inverter in the first place. So we're just going to take our cord here, and before we do anything too much with it, we're going to bring out the meter and verify what we have before we attempt anything. So this would be the kind of inverter I would use for like camping or something like that. They're really noisy too, so if you hear the ham radio, don't buy one. We had 29.6 volts, and these panels are all parallel. There's not a lot on there, but so it's safe to go put this one in first. They had really cheesy connectors for the solar, because this thing doesn't really have a lot. I think it does up to 40 amps, which is not on par with the 3,000 watts that the inverter can do. So I don't understand that one, but that's how they got it. Come on. there. There's not a lot of room in here, so I'm having trouble shoving it in there. And it might not even start charging because our voltage is too low. Okay. Yeah, it's not even awake. I'm trying to remember. So this one doesn't like to wake up unless you actually have it on. So right now it shows oh boy, we got mosquitoes out here, guys. 26.4 volts. Yep. So we got mosquitoes out here now. Alright. So anyway, this is just a real basic unit. If we can get it to. It doesn't want to pick it up. So actually, right now the inverter is on. Let's just go ahead and shut it off. Alright, so I just hooked it up to 2 panels in series, and now it woke up. So, but it's going to go on and off a few times because it's not great. It says it's 26.3 volts into the battery, which is not good. So it will just keep turning itself off, but the sun's almost set, so that's the reason why. I put 2 series, 2 parallel. Let's see what it reads now. It says 26.1. That shows the battery's full, but there's no way. Let's turn the inverter on. Just see what it does. Because sometimes when there's a load on it, see, this one is the reason I don't use this one is it's kind of very primitive. It has a really crappy charge controller, doesn't work real well. It does weird cutoff times and things like that. So and I'm pretty sure it has a floating neutral. So there's 27 volts coming in from the solar, but the battery is like just a little bit above that. So that's going to cause it to turn on and off. I don't know what this number is. It says 285. It says output load. 285 what? 0.01 kilowatt. Anyway, it would be good for a very basic solar shed. You know what I mean? But anyway. So for it to sit here and actually keep these batteries charged, it has such a high idle consumption that you really, if you wanted a 12 volt system, you would be better off to use something else. Although it's 24 volts, so the advantage to using this would be higher voltage, lower size wire, but it also is going to supply shore power. But my main intention to use the rest of my 4 panels was just 12 volts to just keep some old batteries backed up, and then I could always use them to run the radio if I want to. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, because it's noisy and it doesn't work real well. I don't know what the hell to do with it anymore. I mean, it works. So anyway.